Hi guys, in this video we'll be looking at ACDC's Highway to Hell and how to play the riffs. If you can't remember, this is what they sound like. Hi guys, my name's Thomas, and in this Highway to Hell guitar lesson we'll be looking at all the rhythm parts for the song, and then in a separate lesson we'll look at the solo and the kind of ad-lib stuff at the end of the song. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please click the link below to take you to our website where you'll see write-ups for this and all other of our lessons, as well as loads of free information material to help you get better at guitar. Okay, so we're in the key of A major. Well, really it's kind of like an A mixolydian thing. So this is an interesting point to talk about, how they achieve these kind of in-between sounds, these things that don't really sit within one major key, or at least not the major key you would think it was. So there's mostly power chords here. Our very first one is an A. Nice and simple, and we've got the timing of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it's all and 4 and. That's where those come in the bar. So the offbeat of 3, then the fourth beat, and the offbeat of 4. So this A power chord then, that's open A string, then the second fret of the D and the second fret of the G string. So you can play power chords just with open A and the second fret of the D, but that note of the G string, which is the octave, just helps fill it out a bit more, makes it sound a bit stronger. So we've got, you can do it either with 2 fingers or 1 finger, which I prefer. Then our next is this this D over an F sharp. So this is an inversion of a chord. So a D major chord has the notes D, F sharp, and A. But it doesn't mean that those notes have to be in that order. They can be in any order that's possible, and it'll still be a D major chord. So that's what's happening here. We've got an F sharp on the E string, which is the second fret. And then we've just got a D power chord up top. So open D, second fret of G, third fret of B string. And we give this bass movement now. So it goes. So it kind of inverts the way you would normally hear it, which would be. Which sounds not quite the same. It's not quite there. So the way I'm playing that F sharp, personally I'm going to play with my thumb. Although sometimes you can play it, you could play it with first finger, the second finger, third finger if you want. But to be honest, I think the thumb is just easier to play it when you get used to it. So if you haven't done that kind of thing before, you can look to practice that, and it just frees up other fingers to do other things. So it's much more useful than that. So I'm going to do it with my thumb. Know that you can do it any way you want, really. So first, second, third. That third chord is a G power chord. This is nice and simple. It's just third finger to the third fret of the E string. Sorry, second finger to the third fret of the E string, and then third finger on the third fret of the B string. And you're just going to go from the E. You're going to mute that A string with your third finger. So all you do is get lazy with it. If I bring this close, you can see I'm playing the A string and nothing's happening. My third finger is being lazy and it's actually touching the A string as it's pressing down the E string. And then when you play it as a chord, you don't hear that muted string. Nice and easy. Okay, so then the rhythm, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Probably messed that up trying to speak and do that at the same time. It's really difficult. good rhythm practice though. So that is the verse. Let's play that again slowly, and you can see just the order of the chords. D, G, D, G. So just to show you the order of those then, it's A, just for 3, and then D twice, and then G on that third one. So it's the same rhythm, and 4 and, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So it goes D, D, G, D, D, G, D, D, G, D, D, G, D, A, A. That sounds quite funny. So A, A, D, D, G, D, D, G, D, D, G, D, A, A. And that is the main riff which covers all the verse. So that happens most of the time, and then most of the time through the verse, and then just before it goes to the chorus, rather than going to the A, it actually goes to an E major or an E power chord. If you want to do it as an E major, you can just play the open E chord, which probably I think I would prefer doing. So just E major. So alright, so that is on, I think that's the third time round of that riff after the singing starts. But you can listen to it to get a better sense of where that happens. But all it is to play is an E major, and this is a common kind of dynamic shift you can do the guitar to bring the level of something up. It's kind of like the drop, what people call the drop in modern music. So to do this, you'll play your chord and you'll start palm muting it, and you'll only play the low end notes. So that'll be the A, the E, A, and the D string. And then as you progress and you're getting closer to the chorus, you'll start to lift that palm mute, which brings the sound of the strings out more. And then you start to play all 6 strings rather than just the low 3. So you get the sound just kind of going down here, quite dampened, louder, louder, and then wider and wider. So you can hear that dynamic change. And so that's how you do that. It's just by palm muting, slowly lifting that off, and then introducing more strings into the one chord that you're doing. And it's just all 8th notes, 1 and 2, and just chugging it down. Okay, so then the chorus is just basically the same 3 chords shifted around a little bit. So it's A to D, and then G, D. So the rhythm for that is 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So it's quite simple. It's just for the A, it's 1 and 3, 1 and 2 and, oh, hold on, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and. Sorry, I should say the and of 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But you can kind of, you can change that around. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You can change it around really to the 2 and or the third beat, whichever you prefer. I think I prefer the third beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then you anticipate the D, so you push that, which means you'll come before the beat. So normally these chord changes will happen on the first beat of a bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. But if you push or anticipate, as some people call it, you will move it an 8th note ahead. So instead of the first beat, we will be on the 4 and. So it gives it that kind of push, as we call it. 2 and. Okay, nice and simple. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and then G on the third beat. 3, 4, back to D. So G, D, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and G, D, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And you can strum the D a little bit. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2. I messed it up. Let's try it again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So strumming it gives more energy. So maybe in the first chorus, you'll hear it doesn't strum that much. By the end of the song, it's picking up and people are going for it more, the dynamics are increasing, you'll start to strum it. With 8 notes. Alright, so that is the riff for the chorus, and then it just ends by holding a D. And then it goes back into the verse, which you know now. So background, and then the second chorus, rather than ending on the D, it goes to this little bit which precurses the solo. So it's just you play it normally. G, A. So then you'll hold the D just like you would, but instead of going back to the verse, you'll do this D. So you just alternate between D and G in the rhythm. So it starts on D and it'll go D, G, D, G. And then you can hear there's a double D in this, so D, 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 G, D, D, G. And then into the solo, which is just over the chorus parts. So that is so simple, just 4 chords, mostly power chords, and it's mostly 3 chords. They only use the E to change it up to lead into the chorus. You can hear that, it just adds that little bit of difference that you want to hear after so long with the same riff. And then when it comes to actually playing this, like this is rock music, so you really got to dig in these strings. You don't want to just like, you don't want to hit it as if you're bored or you're scared of the thing. The guitar is such a dynamic instrument and so responsive to how you play it. So if you really want to dig in, you can turn your gain up on your guitar, so the volume knobs, and then just whack the thing. And then it really starts to growl and come alive. And then you can turn your dynamics, or sorry, your gain / volume control down on your guitar, have a bit more of a gentle touch, and the thing will really quieten. So you've got so much control just within how you tack it, and then your volume controls as well about what you get out of the instrument. So when it comes to rock music, you want to hit the thing, you really want to smack it. And it really starts to light up and growl. So that's an example of just how simple a song can be, but it doesn't affect how good the song can be. So where those come from is an A Mixolydian scale. So that sounds a little bit scary for anyone who doesn't know. There are 7 modes of the major scale. All you do is you take A major scale, so let's say C major. You have the 7 notes in that scale, and basically you just start from each of those notes using all the same scales. So if it's C, that's C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. And then the D mode within this would just be D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. So the exact same notes, just starting and ending on D. When you do that, you get different sounds for each of those 7 scales that you've made. So a Mixolydian is the 5th one in that order, starting from the root note, which is essentially a way of saying that it is a D major scale, because A is the 5th of D. A little bit of theory here. A is the 5th of D, meaning that A Mixolydian, the scale, which we're talking about, comes from the D. So that's why we've got the 3 major chords here that don't fit within, well, technically we've got 4. We've got A major, a D major, a G major power chord, and an E major. So that's 4 power chords, or 4 major chords within this one sound. So ACDC will often mix major scale sounds and Mixolydian sounds to get these kind of inverted majory sounds. So really we're playing in D major here, but actually it's A Mixolydian. And you can tell that because that is our resolution point. Whenever it comes back it always goes to A, and that's where we end. You go, ah, that's good, now we're back home. You feel that sense of relief. So I hope that wasn't too much theory, sorry. If you're interested in that, please do leave a comment and I can get back to you. We can even do another video on it if anyone really wants to hear about using modes and what they mean, how to actually get music out of them. So that's been it for me, guys. Take care, best of luck with the practice, and I'll catch you next time.